Hey everyone, welcome to another 5-minute leader. I'm again in Florida. I told you, if you see a couple videos where I'm wearing this same shirt, I even got the same cup of coffee still here. Don't be surprised because I have a couple hours while waiting for my flight. And today I wanted to do a video talking about, it's an idea called N+1. I talk about it in my most recent book on leading with vulnerability. And I wanted to do a little video about this because at this event that I was speaking at for a few hundred people, it came up quite a bit during my conversations. And I wanted to share the story. It's from Art DeGuse, who is the chairman of Synopsys, former CEO. He founded the company, tens of thousands of employees. And he's an engineer by trade. I believe he has a PhD. And the conversation that I had with him and that I had subsequently with a couple leaders was around this idea of the future of work and how do you adapt. And many, many years ago, I did a video where I talked about why you need to be the killer app. So if you think about how often you update your smartphone or your computer, why aren't we updating ourselves as frequently? And I wanted to share the story, the example that Art shared with me, because I think it's very, very relevant to how we should be thinking about ourselves. And why this is so crucial to becoming a better version of you, to upskilling yourself, and also for your team members. And he gave me this analogy, and he said, think of yourself today that you are version N of you, right? So we're thinking in software terms, you're version N of you. Now, the idea is just like with software, you want to become version N plus something of yourself. So N+1, N+2, you constantly want to become a better version of you. Obviously, to do that, you have to train, you have to reskill, you have to upskill, you have to acknowledge that you have the gaps, you have to demonstrate what you're trying to do to close those gaps. You get it. That's what this whole idea of leading with vulnerability is all about. It's exposing the gaps that you have and demonstrating what you're trying to do to close the gap. But what I wanted to specifically talk about in this video is what happens if you do nothing. What happens if you do nothing? So there are a lot of leaders out there and a lot of employees out there who say, I get it. I'm version N of me today, but I'm happy. I'm successful. I'm content. I have what I want and what I need. I don't need to become version N plus anything of me. I don't need to upskill. I don't need to train. I don't have to do anything. And I asked this actually very similar question to Art. And he said that you can stay version N of you, but you have to remember that just because you are staying constant and static doesn't mean the world around you is. And so if you're version N of you today, the world around you is constantly changing. And so what happens by default if you do nothing is that you become version N minus 1 of you, minus 2, minus 3, minus 10. And what that means is that if you do nothing, then over time you will gradually become a worse leader, a less effective team member, and ultimately obsolete. And this is why, it's funny, one of the things that I've been sharing, and I'm sure a lot of people have said this, and there are quotes floating around out there, but it's not that we should be scared of AI, but we should be scared of somebody who knows how to use AI better than you. And that's exactly what that means. Somebody else out there is going to become an N plus whatever version of themselves. They're going to learn how to use AI. They're going to learn how to embrace new skills and mindsets. And if you don't, the world around you will gradually change until you no longer are effective and until you become obsolete. And you don't just want to do a little bit. A little bit just keeps you pace with where things are. Like I always say, productivity is just means that you're going to go out of business later. You don't just want to be productive. You want to be above that level. You want to be able to go above and beyond, solve complex problems, unlock new opportunities. So don't do nothing. Try to become version N plus whatever, a better version of you. And remember that by default, if you do nothing, you ultimately become a worse version of you. So I hope this is, I don't want to say leading, scaring you or inflicting any kind of fear, maybe just a tiny bit. A little bit of fear is not bad. But I also want you to use this as a motivation for why you need to constantly be upskilling and reskilling, and why everybody on your team does as well. Because doing nothing Again, if you do nothing, it doesn't mean everyone and everything around you is doing nothing. Everything around you is changing. And if you just stay in that same place, the world will pass you by. Your peers will pass you by. And one day you're going to show up to work and you're going to realize, I am way behind and I don't really have a place here anymore. And hopefully you'll figure that out before somebody on your team, one of your leaders, has that talk with you. So become that version N plus version of yourself and encourage everybody around you to do the same. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing to become that better version of you? How are you encouraging everybody else around you to do the same? See you soon. Bye-bye.